Alright, welcome back to the channel, y'all. Who needs enemies when you have your own damn children like these? You know how they have a saying that say, who needs friends or who needs enemies when you got friends like these? Because your friend is like your enemy? Well, damn. Sometimes it be your own damn kids. We have a saying like that too, right? Sometimes it be your own damn kids. Well, this is one of those stories where sometimes it be your own damn kids. Just the details of this story is just crazy as hell. I'll ask y'all to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the bell next to the subscribe button so you are notified every time a new video goes up on this channel. Now let's go with the details. So we covered the initial release of the story back when this woman was held for this gruesome crime and brought into custody. The update to this story is what we're bringing you now since she has been convicted. But we are going to go over the details of the story so everybody who's hearing it for the first time understands what it is that's taking place. So, the woman who prosecutors say killed and dismembered her own mother last year was found guilty by a Prince George's Court County judge in Maryland on Friday. Jurors spent just over an hour in deliberations before returning to the courtroom and finding Candace Craig, who is 46 years old, guilty of first and second degree murder in the death of her 71-year-old mother, of whom she was supposed to be the main caregiver for. Damn. Sometimes aging is not a blessing. Sometimes, it's better off you just die young or younger. But when you age to the point where you need help all the time, and in order to stay in your home, somebody has to be there, as they put you in a nursing home and sell your home, it ain't good being in that position. A lot of people take advantage of elderly people because they know they're elderly, they're feeble. Sometimes their mind's not all there. They could be easily manipulated, etc. And in this particular case, it looks like that's exactly what happened. So, Prince George's County State Attorney Aisha Braveboy left the courthouse shortly after the verdict was read. And she told reporters that this was a critical step towards justice in a case that shocked and rocked the region, left a lot of people with their mouths hanging wide open. Words cannot express how devastated I was when I heard about this story first, this case, how angry I was, how committed my office was to getting justice in this case. And as with any case, it's not easy. There was a tremendous amount of evidence, though, in this particular case. And it took a lot to put everything together to build a solid case to secure a conviction. The attorney said that one of the reasons that the case was so hard to compile, to put together, was the unique nature of the case. It was, in her words, more than just a homicide for the department, given the killing and then the dismembering and then the burning part of Margaret Craig's body by her own daughter. Personally, I don't know how you do it. First of all, right, your mama elderly. I could understand if it happened by accident. I'm not saying it should. I'm not saying I condone it. I'm just saying I'm not justifying it. I'm just saying I could understand. You get a bit overly emotional. You might have pushed her. She fell, hit her head, something like that. But how do you purposely murder your own mama, who raised you, who loved you and cared for you, and then made you her beneficiary and her main care provider? That means all you have to do is take care of her in her later years, and everything that she has would have been yours upon her passing. But you just couldn't wait for her to pass, because she's 71 and she might live till she's 100. So I can't wait around another 30 years. I want all your stuff now. The prosecutor said This was insulting for this 71-year-old woman who was known to be a hard-working woman in her working days, and she was now collecting Social Security, and she was collecting a pension as well. And she didn't get a chance to age gracefully and ride off into the sunset and live out her days after living a life where she worked hard, she bought her own home, she had things in order. And then to be taken out like this by her own daughter was an insult to that woman. She told reporters that the process was heart-wrenching for all of the people who were involved, as prosecutors brought forth deeply troubling images. Graphic photographs of grilled body parts were shown in court, arguing her death was fueled by financial misconduct and by fraud. I mean, this woman lit up the barbecue grill, seasoned it, and put her mama's parts on the barbecue grill. I don't know what her plan was. Was she gonna eat her after she barbecued her to get rid of the evidence? Among her deepest concerns were the children of Candace Craig and the family members as well. You can't make up stuff like this. You can't make up stuff like this. Among her deepest concerns were the children of Candace Craig and the family members who witnessed this violence. Now, this woman has children of her own. You could imagine watching your mama barbecue grandma. Think about the psychological ramifications of watching mom barbecue grandma. The prosecutor said, man, listen, this is something you have to live with, okay? You got to live with this. You have 3 young girls who now know that their mother killed their grandmother, dismembered her body, tried to set her on fire, and when that didn't work, tried to barbecue her on a barbecue grill. And then you tried to blame them. See, I didn't know that part. I didn't know that she actually tried to blame her children for doing it. I can't even imagine the therapy, the support, and everything that these kids are going to need to grow into strong, functioning, well-functioning young women. This is almost unbelievable. But it happened. It happened. Now, when the reporters said that it seemed like Candace Craig needed some help, some mental help, the prosecutor said that the now convicted Craig was far too malicious and intentional to make an insanity case. This was clearly calculated, planned, and she acted on these thoughts. How do you reconcile that with the fact that she took her deliberate, specific steps in deciding how she wanted to go about grilling her mother on the grill? She used seasoning. She seasoned her mama's parts to mask the smell so that people would think she was just grilling a whole bunch of meat. This was very deliberate. This isn't somebody who went insane. So if she has some insanity, it certainly isn't something that impacts all of her other thinking. Now, during closing arguments, prosecutors pointed to evidence including grandma's body parts belonging to Margaret Craig, which they found in a bag. The jurors reached a sweeping verdict, which also included finding Candace Craig guilty of tampering with evidence and improperly disposing of her mother's body. The decision followed roughly 3 hours of closing arguments from prosecutors and defense attorneys on that afternoon. Prosecutors said that Margaret Craig was found with a trash bag over her head. Medical examiner testimony found that she died at the hands of someone. So even though she dismembered her mom's body, the head was still found and upper torso area with the plastic bag still tightly fixed over the face and the head. Her death was no accident. Prosecutors argued, given that Candace Craig sought her daughter Celia Hardy's help in covering up Margaret Craig's death. Hardy is accused of helping to cover up her grandmother's murder, but has testified and cooperated with prosecutors during the trial. Defense attorneys representing Candace Craig took issues with the evidence that was discussed in the trial, arguing that some detectives and lab workers didn't do enough DNA tests. Only 10 items were tested, which didn't include the car in the home's driveway. They also argued that DNA evidence from the crime scene belonged to an unidentified man. That man may have been the person who killed Margaret Craig and not Candace who did it. Given the information the jury had, lawyers for Candace admitted that she lied to the police during their investigations. Defense attorneys concluded by saying that the jury should find the accused Maryland woman not guilty of murder charges levied against her. The defense team chose not to dispute these charges of evidence tampering and improperly disposing of a body during those closing arguments. That alone should tell you. If your attorneys are not disputing the fact that you've been charged with tampering with evidence and improperly disposing of the body parts, then that should tell you pretty much that you're going to prison. The trial began on Thursday, October 24th, 2024, with gruesome details and opening statement from prosecutors and defense attorneys inside the Prince George's County courtroom. During the first few moments of the trial, officials went back through the claims that Candace Craig, who was a caregiver to her mother, dismembered her mother with a chainsaw and then attempted to burn the body parts in the backyard at first, and then put them on a grill and seasoned them, and then tried to barbecue her in her backyard of her Landover area home. Assistant State's Attorney Julia Hall argued that Candace Craig spent her time taking advantage of Margaret Craig, her mother, her 71-year-old mother, that Candace Craig seemed indifferent about her mother's disappearance during the investigation. Authorities also pointed to early claims that Margaret Craig, the mother, was asking her daughter about some fraudulent actions that were taking place on her credit cards, some charges, in the moments before her murder, as an example of Candace Craig's abusive behavior. So she would steal her mom's money, and she would use her mom's credit cards, and she would spend it buying herself things, and then her mom discovered that she was being robbed by her daughter, and she confronted her about it and lost her life because her mom said, "I'm going to call the police and have the police do an investigation and see, because I think it's you that's doing it." And she said, "It's not me." And she said, "Well, the police will figure it out. And if it's you, I'm pressing charges because I didn't give you permission." Candace thought, "How dare you? I'm taking care of you. You ain't paying me. So I could take your money and use your money as I please." Bad idea. Anyways, Mama became confrontational about her own money, which she had every right to do. Her daughter killed her. and then tried to figure out a way to get rid of the evidence. Like I said, I don't know what seasoning her and barbecuing her was going to do. Like, what do you do with that meat after you seasoned and barbecued it? One family member, Jillian Philibert, said that she made it into the basement of the home after growing worried that Margaret Craig had fallen down the stairs. And when she made her way down there, she said there was this terrible odor, and she also saw several trash bags down there. However, she said that she left the basement after noticing that Candice and Hardy were closely monitoring her in the basement. So she knew that there was something going on there, and she told the police that that's what it is. And this is where they discovered her body, or the remains of Mama. This is crazy. This is crazy. I can't even think of what mind frame you must be in as a person to do that to your mom. Not just take her life, but the part where she seasons her up to mask the smell, so the neighbors would think that it was actual meat being grilled, and then you grill the body parts, and grill them and do what with them, is what I want to know. Was she gonna go out into the streets and feed the homeless? Make some rice and beans to go with it? I mean, damn. Y'all be careful out there. You know they say nobody can hurt you worse than the people who are closest to you. And it makes sense because they have the most access to you. They sleep in your home. You go to sleep, you're unconscious. Your eyes are closed, you're snoring, you're happy in the middle of a dream that you might not wake up from if these trusted family members are close by and they want to do you harm. That's reality. I'll catch y'all on the next video. Leave your comments in the comment section below. Tell me what you think about this one. Hit that subscribe button. I'm out. Peace.